Ian.
Shut up, Dave. We don't have time for this.
I didn't even say the name of the podcast, Ian.
It's apexadjacent. Everybody knows. They clicked on the thing. Apexadjacent, welcome. We don't have time for any of this. We're going to skip to a segment that's usually at the end of the show. We're going to do it at the beginning of the show because it's important.
Oh, okay. Is this Ian's album of the week?
I am the captain now. Is that how the meme goes?
This is an early morning record. You could not think of the word captain for a second.
It was gone.
You're like, I am the person who makes decisions on your behalf.
Yeah.
Did you do the New York Times crossword puzzle today?
I haven't done it yet. And
how captain are you? You didn't divert that one, buddy. That was a challenge to your authority right there. I'm trying to subvert you.
Thank you.
I'm the captain now, unless you want to be.
Unless you want to be, because I can share. We could be co-captains, maybe, perhaps. We get a co-captain situation.
Take turns.
We get a panel. We could just do a panel of advisors.
I love this. Okay. All right, Captain Ian, what do you got for us?
Co-captain Dave. I want to start with an album of the week.
Okay.
Because our mutual friend Mike, who has hosted Vinyl Night and that sort of stuff, and is of the great band Codename Carter and a bunch of other great musical acts, turned me on to a Denver band.
Ooh, okay.
That is very kind of like not well known outside of Denver, I think, called Pink Lady Monster, and they have a new album out called PONK, and it is so extremely up my alley. It is amazing.
Really?
It
Pink
is.
Lady. Oh wow! Look at that. Okay.
It's a cool ass album cover.
Yeah.
The song "Responsible" fucking rips.
Okay.
It's got all the things I love. Cool, detached female vocals. It's got angular guitars. David has scronky sax. You know I love a scronky sax.
You love a scronky sax.
I love a scronky sax.
Or a tenacious tuba. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Tenacious tuba, scronky sax.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A titillating trumpet.
Wild woodwinds.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good.
Okay. I will check this out. Pink Lady Monster album PONK. PinkLadyMonster.bandcamp.com. Links will be in the YouTube description. We'll throw on Spotify and Apple Music, but I'm going to be buying this on Bandcamp right after we record.
Yeah, if you listen to nothing else, listen to the song "Responsible." It rips. It's so good.
And I need to buy Mike's other album, Yak Tulips, the Yak Tulips album. I need to buy that.
Oh
EP
yes, that would
by
be
Wing Walker.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's a totally different genre, but it is good.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well, thank you, Ian. Ian's album of the week. Boom. Yeah, just kick in the door.
Way.
Okay, yeah. Is this the kind of music that you feel like kicks in the door, or just like it assertively opens it? How would this band interact with a door?
With a door, it would be too cool for the door.
Oh shit! Okay.
Too cool for the door. It would look at that door and be like, "It looks like there's maybe a lot of people in there."
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the back door.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Enter on their own terms. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe I'll go through the wall. You don't know.
Mission Impossible down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm
awesome,
certainly
man.
not going to go through the door with those people.
Nice. Okay.
Right?
Okay. PinkLadyMonster.bandcamp.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm so psyched about this. I've been listening. He told me about it like 2 days ago, and I've been listening to it nonstop.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. Well, if they play out live, we will have to try to see them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. Mike has seen him a couple times tonight.
Nice.
We'll go with him next time.
Okay. Yeah. Right on, buddy. Okay. So, Ian, I mean, we're going to talk about something from Rocky Mountain Driving Experience this episode.
Yes.
So hang on for that because we're going to talk about us driving a McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to talk about some other stuff up top?
Sure. I think we did some car stuff, like real world, real deal car stuff.
Ian, you and I did some car stuff. You, me, and Chris. Yeah. Our buddy Chris did some actual real car stuff. And Ian, yeah, so you and Chris came over to work on the Volkswagen Cabrio yesterday. And Ian, I have news for you.
Oh, what's that?
I think you can call yourself a mechanic now.
Ooh. I will say, I think I did well yesterday. I'm an excellent mechanic's assistant when I'm not dropping things or shearing bolts. I am an excellent mechanic's assistant.
Well, here's the thing. Mechanics drop things and shear bolts too. So I would say you're a Sue mechanic instead of
okay. All right. I'll take that.
Right? Doesn't that sound more appropriate? Because I think that you and I worked very well yesterday, right?
Yeah. The thing is, I can't be left alone to work on something.
Correct.
Because I will sit and stare at it for 6 hours before I turn anything.
Okay, but with a little direction?
With a little like, oh, it's okay. You can turn that.
Oh, and encouragement. Okay.
Oh, or just like the car is not gonna, because what I picture in my head every time I approach a mechanical problem is that I'm going to turn one bolt and then it's going to be the end of the Blues Brothers where the whole car just falls apart. That's what I think is going to happen in my head.
Yeah, I get that. Right? I get that. Yeah. And I, like when Kelly looks at a car in a disassembled state, she has a feeling of like, well, there's no way that could go back together. Right.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of with her. Like it is mind-boggling to just sit and look at all of the parts on a car.
Yes.
And just one that somebody figured out how all that shit goes together in the first place.
Right. And how it could last like 200,000 miles on a road.
It's wild.
On top of that, like, right?
Yeah. And it's because it's what, like 30 or 40,000 parts on a modern car.
Right.
Just components.
Correct. You know? It's wild.
It's craziness.
Yeah.
This is our chosen hobby. It doesn't make any sense.
It is pretty nuts. I think that when I was talking to Obachowski about his Peugeot back, a couple of years ago, like, I think that mental breakdowns are an open and accepted part of, this hobby.
Yeah.
And talking each other through them, like understanding that, yes, like it is super overwhelming, but it is nuts and bolts, Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is important to keep in mind. There's always less stress when it's someone else's car that's not their daily driver or not your daily driver.
100%. Not a daily driver, and we're a few months away from a race.
Exactly.
Both of those things help.
Right. And so speaking of that, I wanted to talk to you about, so we should tell people like kind of the progress that we made yesterday. I'll fill in with where Chris and I got to yesterday afternoon. And then I have something that I kind of want to talk about after that. Yeah.
Okay. So I came over. You guys were already there and working on getting one of the old HHR engines loaded into Chris's truck for transport off of your premises. Yep. So we did that, and then the update, the diagnosis for the Volkswagen was that, remember, we couldn't shift, or we decided not to shift because the clutch was slipping after every gear change. And we figured out that what was happening was that the rear main seal was leaking oil straight into the bell housing. And every time you open the clutch plates up, oil would get down in there. We'd put it together. And then it turns out that oil does not add friction to things where you want friction. It is quite slippery. You
learned this from watching the Diddy trial, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay. Please take credit, because you were the first person with that idea on the team during the race. That's what was happening during the race. That it was. I think so. I think that you were the one that figured it out, or at least made that initial diagnosis. Continue.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, and we got kind of confirmation of that yesterday because we took one of the bell housing bolts out and oil came out with it. Like it leaked oil when we took a bell housing bolt out. So there was quite a bit of oil sitting in the bottom of the bell housing.
Yeah, there's there's a bolt that goes through the starter and into the block. It goes through the bell housing, block, and starter, and that bolt was covered in oil.
Yeah, like oil came out the hole. We took the bolt out.
Always good. Always good. And so then from that end, if oil is present in the bell housing, it can, or an oily material, right? Like it can really kind of only come from two places at that point. One would be that rear main seal on the engine. I mean, or saying like you have a crack in the block that happens to be around there. Whatever.
Right. Which would be real bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Wild edge case, but I'm sure it's happened before. Or it could be from the shaft seal on the transmission, right? Then transmission fluid would be coming into the bell housing. Yeah. So that's kind of the two. But yeah, so where did we leave off when you left? You and I had like just wrapped something up while Chris was snagging parts and sandwiches.
I left right before it was time to take the transmission out. So like we kind of like disconnected the linkages and got the clutch cable disconnected and all the like the electrical connectors and like the bolts from the top, I think. And then we were the last thing to do right before I left was you were going to lower the car and get the jack underneath the transmission and then get ready to do the last couple bolts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so you headed out. You did great, Ian. You really did. Like, I think like
thanks for 3 hours.
Well, seriously, I mean, like you were a help for sure,
Thank you.
Yeah. And like the height disparity works very well, with the lift. Like, yeah, because there were a couple times where the lift was like not at its top position, but you were like right where you needed to be. And then we would pick it up a little higher. Yeah. So moving that around, that truly like that saves time.
I was going to say, I did notice that yesterday, that like having mechanics of different heights of like wildly different heights is actually could be kind of nice because there was, I can't remember what we were doing, but at one point you were doing it or Chris was doing it. And then the lift got changed. And then it was like, well, I can do that because now I can stand at my full height and the car is just like here,
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was funny. You guys were all like hunched over. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is great.
Boom, right in there. Yeah. Yeah. So after you left, Chris and I did get the transmission out.
Awesome.
It was real fiddly to get out. So I think when we put it back in, we're going to drop the subframe down just on its bolts. I don't think we need to take the subframe totally out, but just drop it down on its bolts to get extra clearance. Cause like the front wheel drive kind of area of the transmission towards the firewall, it's, that was getting in the way of the driver's side, like transmission motor mount thing that's over there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And let's see. Oh yeah. The piece that worked really well was like you and I like doing the 12 point around the drive shaft axle bolts. Like I was outside.
Side, yeah.
Yeah. With like 79 extensions to run like past the brake rotor all the way to to where the axle mounted. Yeah.
Yeah. I was, so like, the half shafts going into the transmission, obviously because it's front wheel drive, they're different lengths, and the Cabrio has such like a tiny little engine. Yeah. The little 2-liter is so small. There's tons of room in there, but getting those half shaft bolts that go into the transmission is still a pain in the dick, man. And because that boot's in the way. And then there's no like good angle to get at it. So you ended up going through the wheel well with, again, more extensions than I knew existed in the world. And then it took like 3 of us because Chris was holding the rotor in place.
Yes.
While you torqued. And then I was like guiding it in like the worst third wheel in the world. Like,
yeah, but then you were keeping the boot out of the way while the screw was coming out to keep it from getting torn and stuff like that. So like, that was all just dialed, you know? Yeah.
And I'm sure there were, if a Volkswagen mechanic could have seen the 3 of us doing that, it would have been like, this is like a 5-minute job.
Probably
by myself.
It probably would have been a screw in the brake rotor up against the caliper to keep it from turning, and like just somebody under there by themselves. But still, like, I don't know, it all just worked, you know?
Yeah.
And so Chris and I got the transmission out. It took a lot. It took about an hour to get the transmission out once it was fully unbolted. And I mean, since it's an older car, CV boots have blown up in there. There's been tons of oil leaks and power steering leaks and who knows what else. So everything is super gritty under there. So like we got real greasy. I had like grease in the back of my hair. I had to like use a little bit of Dawn dish soap to get it out. Wow. Stuff like that. But yeah, so when we got the transmission out, we put the car back up in the air on the lift. And we did see that seal plate for the rear main seal. It was just, it looks like it was just like crazy RTV and slapped in there, you know.
Wow.
And maybe the folks previously did it during a race, but you could definitely tell that the oil leak was for sure coming from the rear main seal. So spot on call by you.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that was what somebody else figured out, that it was leaking out of the rear main seal. That's where the oil leak. That's where we were leaking oil. And then I was like, well, what about that dripping onto the the bell house, like into the bell housing? So
sure.
So yeah, it was a team diagnosis. Co-captains,
right?
But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that was where we left it. We pulled the plate that holds the rear main seal. Chris has an ECS aftermarket one. They came with an ECS air freshener. I wonder what that smells like.
That's funny. Just grape smoke. It just smells like grape smoke.
Right. So we'll do the oil pan gasket, which I think is just RTV. I think they just RTV'd it. I don't think they used a gasket. We'll start to put it back together. So I'm going to drop the oil pan and reseal that, do the rear main seal kind of housing and component thing. And I think one of the things that contributed to the leak that we experienced was that it's possible that they didn't have the RTV on there long enough to cure before putting oil back in.
Right.
Yeah. And like
doing it during a race. I mean, that's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like that stuff properly, like the normal black RTV or ultra black, whatever, should really cure for 24 hours before you expose it to oil. So there's like the fast dry stuff and all that. I can't speak to what RTV is better, but I'm going to be doing that during the week. And then perhaps this coming weekend, we'll be able to get the transmission back in and get this thing going.
Nice.
So, yeah. But you did great, man.
After I left and you got the transmission out, did you solve the riddle of the missing OBD port?
No, haven't had time to go into the dashboard.
I was really hoping you were about
this.
Yeah, so it's a 1999 Cabrio, so it's an OBD2 car.
Yeah.
And we know where it exists stock. It's like in the center console stock, which is kind of crazy. Like you have to move
like a little
ashtray out of the way or something,
or like a storage bin cover or something. Yeah. Or
it's kind of a crazy location, but we cannot find it in the car.
No.
So I was hoping that what had happened was someone had pulled it back through the firewall and it was like zip tied very neatly against the firewall. We just couldn't see it. And we were going to remove the transmission and then it was going to be like right there. But we were just going to see it. And it was a little, was going to play.
Right.
And we would just see it dangling there.
I think it's underneath the dash. Yeah. So there's like a metal dash that they fabricated in that car that we vinyl wrapped black because it was very reflective before. Because it was like painted white with like the kind of like early 90s splatter paint stuff. Which looks
so hard
cool.
To see out of.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but like the glare onto the windshield, it was like I don't know how they saw anything.
Right? Yeah. I don't
when
it
was
know.
Sunny out, you couldn't see anything. Yeah.
So just like walking into all the stuff from a previous somebody else's project, right? Like the tractor waits in the back, You know, like whatever, you're just dealing with the decisions that someone else made, like decision after decision. Like when you buy a used car, you buy a used house, you know, like all of that stuff, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody as dumb as previous tenants. Right. But that's the nice thing about it. That is the one nice thing about it for like a team dynamic situation, is that you all have a unified person to be mad at.
That's it. Yes.
Right. Whereas like with a car that you all built, you could be like, I know who tightened that bolt. You know, like I was there when that didn't get torqued properly. Now you guys can all just be like, oh, that guy. You know, even though everybody's just trying their best and whatever. It's like mistakes happen, especially on a race weekend.
Of course.
But now you have a previous tenant to be mad at, and that's the greatest gift of all, isn't it?
In arguments of no true consequence, blame truly does make it better.
Yo, 100%.
Yeah. An argument, say, with your spouse or something like that, blame does not make the situation better.
Blaming someone who's not participating in the argument. I think
there we go.
External blame is super helpful.
There we go.
Always. Right?
Always, no matter the situation.
I think if you and your spouse can be mad at the same person, that's great. If you guys can be mad at the same person, there's no better day than that.
That's how you know they're the one, when you both get pissed off at the same person and then just get genuinely happy about the same things.
Right. And then, because then you can complain together. I mean, complaining together that's kind of the, like, that's the best part of being human, right? Complaining together about things. Yeah.
I like that, Ian. Yeah. So that's where the car is, you know. I think things are looking good, and we'll keep rolling from there.
Nice.
You know? Yeah, when we drained the transmission fluid, it didn't look horrible.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it was not used the last race, so that's awesome. Did you guys get the clutch out or anything? Did you look at that, or okay, how did the clutch look?
Not good. The clutch was very close to being down to the rivets.
Really?
Yeah. And they said that
go ahead. I was just going to say for the listeners that they had put like a stage 2 clutch in this thing, which is hilarious on a car that's making maybe 100 horsepower. But you know, it was slipping all the time. So that's not good for it, obviously.
Right. Also, I do think that there was, this is just a super rough guess. I think that given that there were wheel weights, or that there were tractor weights in the back, I think that team was potentially like maybe bringing in some drivers that were either not that familiar with like driving a stick in a race setting, driving a short wheelbase front wheel drive car in a race setting, you know, kind of more towards the limits. And, you know, it's possible somebody was riding the clutch, you know, a little bit during races, or they were like downshifting a little too hard and kind of burning up the clutch a little bit more, in addition to the rear main seal leak.
I'm on board. Previous tenant.
See, the tractor weights are so wild. I still can't get over that.
I know. Well, I know. I've been thinking about that one a lot, actually, because the car is not, because we drove it obviously without the tractor weights.
The tech made us take them out.
Yeah, with a variety of different tire combinations and things in it. And
we spun 3 times during the race total.
Yeah, it's not a especially snappy front wheel drive car. Like, it'll rotate, but you got to like be pushing hard, one, and two, it was easy to gather up. Like, it was not, I have definitely driven, like, your Fiat is way snappier at the limit than this thing. Right. The Saabs that you ran all were way harder at the limit than this thing.
Yes, correct.
So I don't know. It didn't. I didn't spin, so maybe I wasn't pushing as hard as some of the other drivers in the corners, but it seemed pretty controllable to me. Yeah,
correct. Also, I think it's another thing that you can choose. You can choose to manage that with rear tire pressure in a front wheel drive car. That's what I've really gathered during autocross is that, and I don't know how much that translates to like an endurance race setting, but it's not like you'd want to like truly like cup or crown the tires for an entire race. But I do think that you can really tweak in, like really hone in on that, like how snappy the rear is to some degree by just going up 2 psi or down 2 psi, on the rear tires. So
yeah, I think that's a little bit harder in an endurance race, partly because especially at high plains where the track temperature is wildly different throughout your stint.
Correct.
Like cloud cover will come in and the track temperature will fucking plummet.
Right.
And then it'll totally change the way the car handles. And then, it'll clear up and it'll get super greasy again. And you'll have like one lap of traffic and the tire temperatures will be nice and cool again. And then you'll get free air and then it'll get greasy and hard to handle again. Like it is really crazy how different, and then fuel load. So it's pretty wild how different the car will feel from like throughout a stint, especially like a 2+ hour stint.
That's wild. That's wild. I mean, I have not driven a car that long on High Plains Raceway to experience it myself, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is harder to dial it in, I think, is exactly.
Okay.
Like if you were going to do like one lap, if you were trying to get one lap and get it feeling exactly right, you could definitely do it.
That makes sense.
Think over a stint, it's a little more difficult.
Okay. Yeah. And plus, like for an autocross run, I can dial it for 40 seconds and then reassess. Dial it for 40 seconds, reassess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's wild out there, man. Yeah.
We did also see that, dear God, we need an alignment on this thing because we looked at the tires that came off the front. And first of all, they were not great tires that we had on the front because we were kind of desperate for tires at the end of that race.
We basically needed rubber to wrap wheels in, and that was it. We had to take what we could get.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we had bought the car like a few days before the race and had trouble finding tires to fit it. And so we were running like all seasons in the front at the end of the race. Is that what it was? They were all seasons because they had like sipping in them. They were like, and the right front, the passenger side one had just huge chunks out of one of the tread blocks all the way around. Gone.
Yeah, but then there was like that weird spot on it where like there were no chunks missing. Right?
Yeah, like a reverse flat spot.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. For like maybe like 10 inches of that tread.
Yeah, it was really strange. And then the driver's side had worn completely differently, which you kind of expect around a track like High Plains, which is very left front, really does punish the left front. But it was like the inside shoulder of the left front was worn, which you wouldn't necessarily expect. So like that alignment is fucked.
We will definitely get a race alignment on it for sure. Yeah. So I'm sure that I introduced some tie rod end play when I was trying to remove the wheel bearing incorrectly at first, and then we replaced the tie rod end the night of the race. But the thing that I wanted to loop back to was, given all the work that we did last night, I already know the answer, but I want to get your thoughts on our call to not replace that, try to fix the oil leaking out of the rear main seal, all that stuff, that issue overnight between Saturday and Sunday races.
Definitely the correct call. The correct call. I mean, like none of us had ever had that car apart or a car like it apart to that degree before. And I mean, just seeing how long it took. I mean, we weren't rushing. We weren't trying to go fast, which is one thing, but but how fiddly it was on a lift. Like, yeah, definitely the correct call. To not try attempt that on our backs while drinking beer between 2 race days
and getting eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely miserable, and there's no way we would have fixed it properly, and we would have had to do it again
Mm-hmm.
and we would have had fewer laps on the track.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't have had a car to run on Sunday. We probably would have been working on it into when the race started. And if we finished it, we maybe would have been able to finish it in time to do some laps and,
Yeah, I think the best case scenario would have been that we would have had a car that worked briefly.
No, I think that you're correct.
Sunday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I really do think it's one of the more important lessons I've learned with the Lemons team, with racing, with cars in general, in that kind of like goes back to what Matt Murphy said, our buddy Matt Murphy, like there's always going to be stuff that you have to manage, and like choosing if we can manage this in the condition it's in, and everyone gets a chance to drive a fun, slow car versus no one getting to drive at all. What decision is the best at this point?
Yeah, no, totally. It was definitely the right call. So
yeah,
I'm glad everyone talked me out of the other one.
Oh no, I think
I was like, let's go fast. That was like zoomy zooms. I want to go fast. I want to shift.
True. Yeah. Yes, but I think that like it would be one thing if like you kept arguing for it, but you listened to you got there on your own as we were talking all as a group about it.
Well, yeah, once they said, "Oh, we don't have flywheel bolts and they're single use," I was like, "Oh, well, that seems bad." Okay, fine.
I was going to tell you on that rear main seal plate, when Chris and I pulled it off, we did find a sheared screw or sheared bolt inside one of the holes that I think holds that plate on. So not only was it something where it was just shellacked with RTV and like leaking out of who knows where, there was one hole where there was a broken off piece of bolt inside, and I was able to just get it with those Icon 7-inch, like they're kind of needle-ish nose pliers. Just get on the tip of it and get it a couple turns before I could get a better grip on it. It wasn't something that needed to be drilled out or anything like that. And
that's crazy.
So I think that they might have snapped a bolt putting it back in, and they were like, well, we don't have another one of these bolts. So more RTV, I think, was the answer in that case.
Yeah. So, RTV and send it. Yeah. I mean, I've been there. Like,
I would do the same thing.
Situation. Yeah.
If it's the difference between driving the car during a race and not, Yeah. So you understand the context that you assume these decisions are made in.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But again, previous tenant. Oh man. The best.
Right. So yeah, there you go. But
now we're the previous tenant. Like moving forward, like the number of situations where we can blame the previous tenant are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
And we're documenting it all on a podcast that somebody could find and be like, no, episode 78, you said you did this. You showed pictures, you did.
Yeah, that's true.
So, oh well. Yeah.
Shall we talk about this other automobile that we drove? That's pretty much the same as our Lemons Cabrio 3.
I think you're exactly right. I think it's exactly the same.
They're both convertibles. That's all.
Yeah. End of list. Yeah, Ian, you and I got to drive the McLaren Artura Spider.
We sure did. I don't want this to just be it's real fast.
No, of course not. No, because it's so much more.
It is. It's just, and I think I had kind of teased this when we were talking about the Ioniq 9 as well, that it was sort of similar. I in my head, I kind of think of them as sort of similar cars, the Ioniq 9 and the McLaren Artura, which sounds insane, but
hear him out. Let him cook.
Because one of them is an electric minivan, and one of them is a very like bespoke sports car. And I think it's just that it's the the clarity of purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no, you get behind the wheel or you start loading things into the Ioniq 9 and you know exactly what it's for. And it was engineered for a very specific purpose, and everything follows that purpose.
Correct.
And the same thing is true with the McLaren, right? You get into the McLaren and there is nothing that doesn't have to be there.
Right.
Right. And like the thing that was most striking to me was how great it was to drive at like 30 miles an hour.
That's the thing, right? I've been thinking about this car a lot since we drove it, of course, because how can you not think about a McLaren that you get to drive? Like not everybody gets to drive one of these things. The fact that I fit in it still blows my mind. I probably could fit in it with a helmet.
Yeah.
Is wild because it's made for normal people. Like, you fit fantastic and so did I. Mm-hmm. But like when we were puttering up Deer Creek Canyon at 30 miles an hour while I was driving, it felt fantastic. It felt like no other car I've driven when it was accelerating, when it was braking, and when you're just puttering at 30 miles an hour.
The steering is just magical, especially like getting out of all of the like modern big overly assisted cars that we were in and getting into this. It was just like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what a steering wheel is supposed to do.
Right. When everyone works as hard as they possibly can on making all these facets of the car be that good, like you said, everyone's moving in the same direction on maximizing the outcome of somebody's experience with X object, whether that be the direct feeling of the steering, the the utility of the Ioniq 9 and how people get into the back seats, all that stuff. It showed so well.
Yeah.
In that
Plus
car.
Something was broken, which is what you want.
Okay, so talk about that.
It was the steering wheel adjustment, right? Is that what it was? The steering wheel adjuster was broken, and I was like, you know what? I can't be mad. Like if I have a small manufacturer, small batch sports car, and something isn't broken, I'd be disappointed.
Right? Like, you kind of need something not quite working, a little wonky, as part of the experience. It adds texture, it adds color for sure.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So basically, like, it's just because people's knees kept hitting it, their left knee, because it's kind of down on the bottom of the steering column, where a lot of them are, but like most cars kind of have them a little bit further up on the side of the steering column on that left side. And
this is a press car. So there's a lot of people who are driving it for 10 minutes or, a day or a week or whatever, but they're not living with this car. So they don't get used to, I got to like tuck in a little bit here or, like the little nuances of the car. Whereas if you owned this and you lived with it for a long period of time, you probably wouldn't break that,
Exactly. Yeah. You would just know, like when you have that, like one door in your house that you kind of have to like pick up on the handle when you close it,
right?
To get it to latch,
which is the sort of like quirk thing that you want from a small volume sports car.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And like so there was an embroidery line across the dashboard, kind of extending over to the passenger side. And that line, you could tell, was just like a little uneven, there was a little bit of a wave to it.
You could see the hand of the artist, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when we were driving, you would hear the windows creak in their frames.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not perfect, which makes it better.
Correct.
A little bit. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, this like the hand of the artist thing. Because of, there's a lot of like AI slop.
Sure.
We're in this era now. And I was I've been on a big, like listening to Kid A by Radiohead lately.
Oh, yeah.
And the last song on that album is Motion Picture Soundtrack. And it's this beautiful song with an organ that plays, but you can hear when you listen to it with headphones, especially, you can hear, the foot pedals on the organ being depressed.
I love that. Yes.
Right. Those sorts of little things where you get the like, and in the drumming, like the drumming isn't perfect, right? It's really, 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 really good, but it's not perfect. So you can hear the swing in it. And those are the things that I think the AI bros of the world miss about like what art is and what, like, why people respond to it. And I think the same can be said of cars, right? Where like, if you engineer out all of the, like the feelings that you get through the steering wheel, if you isolate things too much, then you lose something.
Absolutely.
There's stuff to be gained, but you do lose stuff as well. And I think that feeling is there in this car, right?
Yes.
Where it's engineered amazingly well, but also there's a few little flaws here, but they only kind of enhance it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think that the thing that offset it for me was there are flaws that, just a couple flaws that, one, I don't care about the embroidery stitching. That wouldn't bother me. If there was, say, like weird embroidery somewhere on the steering wheel, embroidery is a very hard word for me to say. Stitching. If there was stitching on the steering wheel that like my fingers kept hitting that was like weird or wonky or
crazy, right?
Yeah, that would drive me nuts, right? But if the quirk goes away as soon as I put my right foot down, then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Because you can't look at the dashboard anymore.
No, can't look at the dash.
Can't hear the windows creaking anymore.
Yes, you're exactly right. If my right foot makes it go away, I'm okay with it.
That's good. I like that. That's a good rule.
So we should tell people about you telling me the cost of the car. Do you remember what I initially guessed it was, and what the cost of this vehicle is?
I think I don't remember. So you guessed like $150,000 or something like that. And I was like, oh, buddy, no, not even close. Because it was what?
$400,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was in shock for a bit. And we were initially driving it, I think, in EV only mode. When I did my first pull in it in EV only mode, and I was like, is this not a good car?
Right. Yeah.
No, I just wasn't using 6 cylinders and 2 turbos and who knows how many horsepower at that time. I was
8 cylinders, right?
Oh, yeah, 8 cylinders, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy. Yeah. So then when we put it in like the proper sports mode and all that stuff, it changed
a lot. Yeah. It is so exciting. And I can't get over it. I know we already said this, but like how it feels at low speed, like especially compared to some of the other like sports cars that we've gotten a chance to drive. Right. So even like, I feel like even compared to like the Corvette that we drove several years ago.
That Carbon 65 or whatever. Yeah, the one that truly frightened me.
The Grand Sport.
Yeah.
Which is so funny that frightened you, because that is like so much less fast than this.
Right.
But you're right. Like it felt like it was something that you were containing. Right. Like you were working to contain this. And I think the Hellcat felt kind of the same way. Like the big American muscle cars all kind of have that feeling of like, oh, I'm keeping this together and I'm working to keep this together so I don't kill someone or go to jail.
Right.
And this feels like it's that we've referenced this meme before, but it's the guy in the McDonald's slowly eating his chicken nuggets while there's a huge all-out brawl going behind him, and the scariest motherfucker in that video is the guy eating his chicken nuggets.
Right. It's not anybody throwing hands. Even if somebody pulled out a knife, you would know that the dude that is calmly eating his nuggies is the scariest person there.
Terrifying, right? Like,
Truly.
because he knows how to handle himself. And you could just tell from the way he's sitting there eating chicken nuggets.
Yes.
It's so funny. And like, but I think that is more what this car is, right? Whereas like the Challenger Daytona that we drove the same day.
Exactly.
Is playing engine noises over its loudspeaker.
Right.
Which is the exact opposite of this vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though this is like a loudly colored shouty kind of look at me supercar looking thing, it's still, as you're driving it, it feels like it doesn't have to shout at you.
Correct.
To tell you what it can do. It's kind of shouting at everybody else.
Sure.
But it's not telling you, oh, there's muscle car DNA in this, like the Challenger Daytona is. It's telling you that you can do more with this, but you don't have to, because this is fun too.
Right. I think it's like kind of the difference of you being told that versus you just having that there for you to find and experience on your own. Mm-hmm. Right. Like that pedigree and that just the feeling and the capability. Right.
Or it's like the thing in a movie, right, where you get told, hey, this guy's a badass.
Right.
You know, where it's like in Lord of the Rings, right? I was trying to think of a less nerdy example, but I'm going with it. We're going with Lord of the Rings. Where like you don't really get a sense of Gandalf's power until you see it, until the "you shall not pass" moment. Right. And I think that everything leading up to "you shall not pass" is sort of like what you get from a lot of like other cars, and even being on the outside of this one. But once you pull away and you get behind the wheel of this, it's the "you shall not pass" moment. You're like, oh, I get it.
Correct. Because
I've been shown, not told.
Yes. You don't need 10 minutes of like passerbys in the town being like, oh, that's Gandalf. He's the most powerful, blah, blah, blah. You don't need that.
Yes, exactly. You don't want to be told, you want to be shown.
Yeah. That's it. It's an amazing car. It truly is. Yeah. Twin turbo, electrically actuated. Like it still felt very analog. It didn't feel like there was like a lot of technology. Lag. Yeah. No lag, but still fun. And like, it didn't seem like all of the technology was softening the edges in the ways that we've experienced. It felt like all the technology was making like the rough surfaces, like giving you more to sink your teeth into. You know?
It definitely has some grit to it. And I loved every second of being behind the wheel of it. Like it felt like I could be instantly, like you could be instantly quick in this car.
Yes.
Like if we were on a track, I feel like you could just pick a breaking point and be like, okay, I'm going to do that. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Like an instructor could say, this is your breaking point. And you'd be like, okay, got it.
10-4. Right. Yeah. And you would hit it.
Yeah. Cause it just felt completely intuitive and totally like you became a part of it as soon as you sat down in it.
Yeah. And you know how gun shy I am when it comes to like just driving a car initially the first time. But within 10 minutes, I hit the rev limiter in second gear.
Yeah. No, and that's a good point too, because the last one of these that we were on together, you drove the Nissan Z.
Yes.
Which again, a much slower car than this.
But my entire body was puckered shut.
You were so rigid.
I was. My shoulders were like above my ears.
Yeah. And I think you were nervous getting into this initially. I could tell you were.
Sure.
But you relaxed so quickly because it tells you exactly, it communicates so well to you that it kind of puts you at ease, you know? And whereas a car like the Z, which I want to state, I loved. I also loved driving that Corvette that we referenced.
Sure.
Because it's a different sort of challenge and thing that I also enjoy. I think you enjoy it less. But
I think I could come to enjoy it as much. I think my like enjoyment curve is just like protracted out.
Good point. Yes, that's well said. But with this, even though you can get yourself into way more trouble way faster. It just felt easier, and you felt more at home.
We just straight up cannonballed into the pool because we knew that it was safe to do so.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that full throttle pull to the rev limiter in second gear is something I will never forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
I think the only thing that I would say would be that is a little difficult to live with this car, as far as driving dynamics, was it does follow every seam and rut in the road, of which we have many in Colorado with our crazy heat cycles that we go through every year. So that was a little bit of a challenge to driving it. But other than that, I can't. There's nothing that I can think of driving dynamics wise that was bad about this thing.
Yeah, and I think that when that was happening, the communication that you're getting is so good that you just manage it. It's not like where I feel like there's a delay where, like, say something like a Jeep Wrangler, where like you get pulled one way, you process that, and then you kind of compensate. I think that like you're almost kind of experiencing this real time in the McLaren where like it starts to pull, so you're correcting, and like that delta of processing time is so much shorter because of the communication you're getting. But yeah, you're right. It wants to do what the road is telling it to do. And, you know, I mean, there's a reason it's so direct. It's because it has the ability to give you the direct road. It is reacting to everything that it is experiencing.
Yeah.
Just like
so there's not, so I'm getting at, there's not a lot of downtime in this either. So you're actively driving the whole time, which is great. I mean, I think that's what you want, but if you're buying something like this, that's what you should want.
Exactly. This is not a Grand Tour.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want something
anyway,
to crush rectangle states, different car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It could be done, sure, you know, but
you'd be exhausted, I think.
Yeah. Right. I would probably be more exhausted in my Fiat than I would be this. Just kind of like, I mean, you know, doing like a 600 some odd mile road trip in the Fiat and driving this a little bit. I think that the Fiat would be more exhausting over like a road trip.
Well, you'd be at 4,000 RPM the whole time, which is probably part of it.
Yeah. Yes. The wind noise. Yeah. But I mean, versus like your All-Track or my, you know, LS460, you know.
Now, but would you be $400,000 more exhausted in the Fiat? Like $400,000 more exhausted? Like that's a big price gap.
It is.
That you're going to cross shop. Use
for a road trip car.
Versus a McLaren Artura Spider.
Specifically for road trips, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not good at buying cars.
Help, my family is starving.
Exactly. But I think that you had an interesting point when we were driving this. And this is something that has never crossed my mind, but you're totally right. There are Instagram influencers out there that are like selling homes or houses or, you know, like whatever assets they have just to lease a car like this.
Yeah, which is a terrible idea.
It's a horrible idea, but when you drive it, you're like, it kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah. It's a great idea until it's not, sort of thing, right? Like if you could pull it off, great. But the moment something goes wrong, you are fucked.
You are, right? Yeah. If you're attaching a livelihood to this vehicle, because like, let's say you do that and you're just like, you're trying to, you know, all the views and stuff that you get on social media because you now have this car that you're presenting on social media. If that is somehow paying your bills and, you know, attaching livelihood to a car like this is an insane thing, but people have done it and are doing it.
100% they are. I don't fully get it. That seems crazy to me, but good luck.
Yeah, shoot your shot, King.
I hope it works out.
Exactly. So, yeah, I feel like it's such a unique experience that we got to drive that car. I'm very thankful for the folks from McLaren. Yeah, we were talking to the individual from McLaren there, and just about how great his job is, that he just gets to like stand back and see people come back, you know, with the car with insane smiles on their faces and like literally life-changing experiences.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It seems like a pretty sweet job until you have to be a passenger while some journalist is ham-fisting their way through a bunch of twisty roads. But yeah, man, thank you to RMAP and to McLaren for sure, because this was an experience, for a wild experience. I can't get the power delivery.
Yes.
Is so crazy.
So it is just a 3-liter V6, Ian.
Oh, it is a V6. I'm sorry.
Electrically actuated twin turbo, and just a V6. Yeah.
Just a V6 is hilarious.
I know. It is top speed 205 miles an hour, 531 pound-feet of torque, 690 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, quarter mile in 10.8. And it is a 120-degree V6 3-liter with twin twirly boys.
Yeah. And the shifting was amazing.
Oh, yeah. The paddles felt fantastic. Yeah.
But the lack of lag was wild. And it makes all the noises.
Yeah.
All sorts of crazy noises, induction noise.
Yeah.
Like through the roof over your shoulder.
Yeah, we had the roof on because it had rained. And then we had the little window down, the little like back half window. So, and does it have like some top exhaust? I can't remember, but we could hear the exhaust very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and you could definitely hear a lot of induction noise. It makes great noises. But the lack of lag is just wild. Like it is so instant, but it still feels turbocharged, but barely, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. Like it is a pretty wild experience because it doesn't feel laggy. There's no like wait for the turbos to come on at all, but the push you get does feel
it's that like a kind of elasticy push, right? Like almost slingshotty, but without the initial pullback. Yeah. I have not driven a turbocharged car that has like actively worked to reduce lag that I've enjoyed this much, right? Like everything that we've driven that has like some kind of lag, like they factored, you know, how to do like twin scroll turbos or, you know, any of that stuff. It's never felt good. It just feels like it's not a turboed car, which is not what I want in a turboed car. I want a turbo to feel like a turbo.
Or it falls off really dramatically at the top of the rev range. Yeah. That's usually kind of the dynamic that we've been dealing with for the last like 10, 15 years, right? It's like big mid-range push and then it kind of falls off. But not this thing.
Not
Holy
this, buddy.
Shit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The only thing that I think kept that true analog feel that we've driven in the last 10 years was the Kia Stinger, the true like analog turbo feel. I felt like that was like Vigony turbo lag and great delivery. But
but it had big lag too.
It did.
For a modern car, it had a lot of lag.
Exactly. And I think that was just like Kia like doing like, well, we want this horsepower. We kind of have to put this kind of turbo on it, this size turbo to get that horsepower. So it is what it is, folks.
Yeah.
You know?
But that car was fun in its own way too. But this is just something else. It's also, again, $400,000.
Yes. You could buy so much for that. But then again, like you feel where it goes. When you drive it, you feel where it goes. Yeah. You know, it's wild.
So if anybody has $400,000 to spend on a car, Send it to me. So I can get this.
Yes. So there you go. Again, thank you, McLaren. Thank you, RMAP.
Yeah. So that was once in a lifetime thing, I feel like. It was amazing.
Truly. Yeah. And when we first joined RMAP, we saw pictures from the year before, and that's when they had the brand new NSX.
Oh, right.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. So like we came in like one step late to drive a supercar, right? And it was like, dang. And we haven't had anything of that kind of like caliber since then. We've had awesome cars, don't get us wrong. Like we still think about the Lexus GSF, right?
Yeah. So truly cars that like altered our wiring a little bit. But this is kind of a step up from that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Somebody brought the chicken nugget dude to a knife fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, there you go, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, what do you think? Did we do a car show?
I think we did. Let's remind people of your album of the week by Pink Lady Monster, PONK.
Yeah, listen to that. It is real good.
Yeah.
Local Denver band.
PONK.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah, pinkladymonster.bandcamp.com. I will be buying this shortly and listening to it while I run errands in my Fiat 500 after we record.
I love it. Everybody, 720-515-1391, apexadjacent@gmail.com. Thank you. We love you. Goodbye.